This is Em, and welcome back to another video. Today, this is so exciting for me. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about all things book journaling. And when I say that, actually now I'm thinking it might be some things book journaling. This is probably going to be a multi-part video. But this is going to be part one, and I think that today the big focus is on the types of spreads that you may or may not want to include in your book journal when you're starting out. Because, let's see, this one started in September, right? It is now May. So I've been journaling in this journal for about 8 months. And as we flip through it, we're going to sort of touch on a variety of different spreads, things that I liked, things that I didn't like, and yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna move us over a little bit. There we go. So starting off, right, this is kind of a mix of a TBR and a challenge. So I'm actually gonna do a couple of different things. So we're gonna go back, and I promise we're gonna flip through everything. But a TBR, right, a to be read, is a list of books that you want to read. You can have them with pictures, you can have them with just little check marks in the title. The key here, right, is just that I had a theme. That's what made it feel like a challenge. Because the challenge was that all of these were on my shelf in September. I still have not read When We Were Bright and Beautiful. I don't know if I ever will. I have read Carrie Soto's back though, and it was quite good. So challenges, at least for me, are very incentivizing, right? It can be fun to pick out certain books. It can also just sort of motivate me to read books of a certain type, especially if there's a prize. Oh my god, if there's a prize. We also have a stats page. So these are predominantly still the stats that I track, although if you watched my April setup, you'll see that I changed the way that I sort of wrapped up the month. So here I'm tracking the genre, the format, the audience, the gender of the author, if the author is BIPOC, if the characters are LGBTQIA+, because sometimes the authors could be, but might not be out, you know, but I can always know if a character is, because it's usually said, and if there's any disability wrap. So this is just generally for fun. If you use Storygraph, which is one of my favorite tracking websites, although if you looked at my reviews on Storygraph, you would not think that because I keep forgetting to put my reviews on Storygraph. It's a whole thing, but it can track a lot of these things like the mood or the genre. You can also use Goodreads. Goodreads is good for tracking like the number of books, the number of pages, but not as good when it comes to sort of those subcategories. The simplest spread that I always have every single month is my reading log. So here, in this specific month, I drew oranges because it was on theme, because oranges are easy to draw. But I just tracked how many books I read, what day I read them on, etc. But you can make this as complicated or simple as you like. One thing that I really like when people do, and I think I might continue this, or I might do this in the future, is I'll kind of show like a little mini example here. Okay. Yeah, this is from September. So you would have your month at a glance, and you would mark when you start reading a book, and with that certain color, and then you would highlight until you finish that book. So if I started a book on the 8th and I didn't finish until, let's say I started on the 11th, and I finished on the 14th, there would be a highlight consistent there the entire time. So if you're reading multiple books at once, you would have multiple highlights that keep going. If you're one of those people though that read like 7 books at once, that might not be sustainable for you, but I think that's something that I want to sort of put in to my reading log in the next few months, just so that I can see how long it's taking me to read books. Now, in order to do that, I need to mark when I start the book at all times on my little spreadsheet, because your girl's a back planner. And this is one of my wrap-up spreads. So this, oh my god, was a spectacular month of reading, because these were all 5-star reads. My printer, however, was not 5 stars. But I had just printed out the book covers, and I had a bunch of these orange stickers from Caitlin Plans and According to Allie, and I just said that you're the zest, and it's just a really easy way to do a wrap up. And so you'll see, right, that I, generally speaking, do the exact same types of spreads the entire month. But for October, I did something a little different. And so rather than just, what I did in September, where I just didn't do anything, I tried for a little while making little individual sort of mini summaries, or like reasons why you should read these books in my bujo. Some people will devote an entire page to reviewing a book, or an entire spread. I read too much for that. And I don't, I was about to say that I don't have enough journals for that, but I do. I definitely do. But this is a really fun way to kind of just remember the title. When it comes to Bookstagram, generally you do not tag an author in a negative review. It's very difficult to be negative in one of these sort of summaries. So even if I didn't like love the book, let's say maybe it was a 4-star read, for example, Killers of a Certain Age, I gave 4 stars. Retired Assassins, seriously fun, sort of, those things don't have any negative connotations, so I can show the author a little bit of support. So these are all from October, and I think, if I remember correctly, I only did that for a month. Yeah. After October, I got really tired of doing it, just because it was kind of exhausting to remember to print it out and do that thing. For a while, I had a junk journal where I was doing a page for a spread, and I was like taking a quote and making a spread inspired by it. It was a lot. And like, just remember that this is supposed to be fun for you, right? So like, you don't have to do any of this. I like a cover page for mine just because it divides it. Even if this is just so simple, right? It's just a sticker of a door with some pumpkins, and it's really cute. It's really freaking cute. Caitlin Plans, y'all. But I don't have to do that. When I'm feeling tired and exhausted, sometimes I'll just go into the next month. That's okay, right? This month I had my logs, I had my stats, and I had my TBR. And honestly, this style of TBR is probably my favorite, just because it's in the center. It looks really sort of graphically pleasing, to my eyes at least. And it makes it easy to add on more if you wanted to. So like, let's pretend you're making this for yourself and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make a TBR spread, but I only know 2 books that I want to read this month. And like, sometimes I like to cheat with my TBR and put in books that like I know I'm gonna read because like they're due in NetGalley that month. Or sometimes there's books that I've already read. Ooh, secret. So I had left this page blank at one point. Probably, let's see. No, I did my stats because I was gonna do more of those spreads. So I could have glued those together. I just didn't. And honestly, that's fine. There might be a point in time where I want to go back. Oh, yeah. This was probably for like my wrap up. Like, what were my favorite books of the month? Oh, well. Let me go to December. And it's very, very similar, right? We're seeing a lot of the same spreads over and over again. Now, I added here for the first time books purchased and acquired, right? So this is books that I bought as well as books that I got through NetGalley. As you know, in future months, I split those up. But this was the first time where I actually started tracking how many books I was buying. Oh, December. I did not read. I've now read all 4 of those books that were off the TBR, but I never got around to it. And I had abandoned the wrap-up. That's fine. I also had told myself that I was gonna film my my 2023 setup for my challenges, and then I realized that I didn't know what my challenges were. I wasn't sure how exactly I wanted to do things. But we're into the sort of part of the video now where we can talk about book challenges. So this is really fun because these come out every year, right? Some of these are by companies or like really established book clubs. Some of these are from just like regular people. Some of these are just made up. All right, so there are two 23 and 23 challenges. This one is just made up by me, specifically because I was like, I want 23 books that I want to read in 2023. But there's no rules on what can go on the list. So like, for example, some of these books have not even come out yet in 2023, right? Like The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi was just a book that I knew I really, really wanted to read. And so this is a great way to sort of keep track of books that you really want to read. You can do this on Goodreads, right? I just feel like I always lose them, or it gets too big, and like the ones that I really, really want to read get sort of bogged down in other ones that someone told me that they thought I would like, or like somebody cool read it, so I was like, oh, I could read that, sure, whatever. There's another version that is hosted by Books with No Pictures, as well as Lemony Reads and the Book Script, which is just like this, except that it's all backlist titles, so they have to have been published in 2022 or earlier. I have 2 books left on that, which has been really rough because I've been reading a lot of backlists, but a lot of these books weren't on that list. We also have Bookopoly, which is run by myself and Knit Plan Jess. Now, if I had been thinking about it, I would have given this its own spread, with the board on one side and then the prompts and the colors or something on the other, just to make it easier to write in. We do have a free, what is it called? Like a free printable that includes this board as well as the entire prompt list. That's on my website, and I'll just link that down below. But it's really fun. I think we might do it again next year. I'll have to talk to Jess. I'm not really sure. But it is really fun, just because we sort of themed each prompt set. Like each color is themed. So we had like sci-fi and fantasy, nonfiction, thrillers, YA, romance, etc. Okay. Next up in book challenges, so we have the Buzzword Readathon. So this is by Bookish Lala. She just picks the buzzwords, and then you have to base it off of the title. So the 2 I have left are ones with the air quotes or the quotes around them, meaning that it has to have that specific word in the title. So it has to have secret or it has to have good in the title. Gosh, I'm not really sure which ones I want to read for those. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. I've already read The Secret History. I read it a while ago. It's lit fic, not really my thing. And I have no idea what I would even do for these prompts. But what's really fun about hers is that, so you can do it where it's 1 per month. So like in January, you would have to do something with life or death themes, or you can do it how I'm doing it, which is that you just, whenever you read one, you just write it in. The 52 Book Club, I really like this one, partially because the prompts are a little bit weird. And what I mean by that is it's not too easy to finish. I feel like with some challenges, like I can finish them without even having to try and find specific books. Here, the ones like published posthumously or Nordic noir, those are some of the ones where like I gotta go in and find one. I do know which book I'm reading for by Octavia Butler though, because I have the Parable of the Sower graphic novel on hold, and I'm very excited. They also have a Storygraph challenge of this, which is great. A lot of these do. And that's just one nice part about Storygraph, is automatically being able to just sort of like associate the book with the prompt so you know which ones are done and which ones aren't. They also have monthly challenges. So like in February, they had a like time loop prompt because of Groundhog's Day. And I don't know, I just really like that. I'm realizing, yes, I have a lot of book challenges in here, all right? It's just a thing. This is 12 books from 12 friends. So I asked for suggestions at the very beginning of the year, or actually no, in December. And I got 12 suggestions of books that I should try. Let's see, I'm finished with about half of them. I have 5 left. And what's really great is I have really enjoyed all of these books. And it's part of it is like your friends recommend books that like they like, but they also recommend books that they think you would like. So I know that in July I'm going to be reading Red Rising. The other ones, I think these 2 are indies, so it's going to be a little hard to get those from my library. This one I have a copy of, and then A Woman Is No Man is not an indie. I should be able to get a copy of that. But I just have to sort of check back and remind myself, oh yeah, I need to read that book. Because otherwise I forget. Okay. This page looks really fun now. So this is for A to Z, the A to Z challenge. Tons of people do different versions of this. Basically, the thing of it all is that the title needs to start with that letter. Some letters, they'll let you have like the author have it in their name or something. So like I think last year, instead of one that started with Q, I used a book by Jessie Q Sutanto. But this year I did it on hard mode. I was like, it has to start with that letter. The does not count. The and they do not count. But apart from that, everything is great. And I also I'm trying to fill these ones in with ones with numbers in the title as well. Unfortunately, 0 days I used it for Z, otherwise I could have used it for 0. But here I might also count no or none. Some of the others we're sort of getting there. And for 4, it does have to be FOUR, not FOR. This was the representation readathon, and I'm realizing with these ones with the sort of glue-ins that it makes it kind of difficult to know what the original prompt was. So like I had thrillers and mysteries and all different genres, but the point of this was to read it by a BIPOC author. This is an ongoing challenge that I'm putting on, but it's just sort of a reminder to like do the bare minimum. Like, read at least 1 BIPOC book a month, please. This spread is what I get asked about the most, I think. So these stickers are from the Sticker Party, and this is for the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. So they put out like 30 to 50 prompts every year, and they also have advanced ones, which I think are fun. And it's just like the 52 book club. They also have one on a Storygraph version, that although I don't think it's affiliated at all. And you're just trying to fit the prompts. This one's nice because it has the cute stickers. The 52 book club also has the cute sticker versions, but I don't think that they were released in time this year for me to actually do that. And I left a blank page in case I had another challenge, because I didn't know when my challenges were going to start. I actually left a couple. So this is from JoJo's Pretty Paper Shop. I haven't colored it yet. I haven't written in it yet. I've just been sort of panicking about it. Because what I want to do is I want to use this to motivate me to either read or donate the books that are on my shelf. Problem is that I have to go through my shelves and like actually, fill them out. That's the real mitigating factor here. That's the real limiting factor here, because I forget to do it, but c'est la vie. So doing a few more just quicker things. In January, I filmed this and I never posted it. I love the stickers that Caitlin did. I tried to do something fun with my lettering style. It didn't really work. I ended up gluing a bunch of pages together, and we have another empty monthly faves because that's when I realized that my monthly favorites just really were not working for me. And remember, the point of this is that it should work for you, right? It's your journal. So like empty pages that you set up and never fill out, okay. Can't really do anything about that. I mean, I could fill it in, but what I mean is, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna turn the page. Like, that's fine. I tried to do a different kind of monthly favorites. It got really chaotic in there. Wasn't a huge fan, and so we turned the page. Why these are in March when it's currently May, I don't know. But this is when we started separating the purchase tracker and the NetGalley. This is probably the best spread that I've ever made. Except for when I decided to track what I've requested. That was a poor decision because it makes me feel shame. We also had a calendar spread, kind of. You'll note that I added an extra week. Don't know why I did that. For a book buying ban, which honestly this month I only bought eight total books. So, that's not bad. The key is to be mindful, right? Not to go cold turkey. I'm technically having a book buying ban right now, but I bought a book today, so whatever. And in March, no stats. Didn't want to do stats, so I didn't do stats. Woohoo! And we come up to April. So April, we have the separate purchase tracker, reading log. We ditched the requested, although my acquired stack made me very, very sad. And we have the new review of the month. I don't know. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna do it like this every month, but I do like it. I like having the genre breakdown. I wish I could make it coordinate with the colors of the month, but I don't think that's gonna always be feasible, and that's okay. Now here, this is fun. We've talked about cover pages already, right? You have your quotes page, your cover page, and I like this because it really flows into the month. I need to update that purchase tracker. But you can sort of see that I fall into patterns of what I like, right? Like what works for me. And so I might end up making the same spreads over and over and over again with different stickers because that's what works for me. And your journal should be what works for you. All right? I think in the next part of the video, or like in my next video, I'm just going to talk about bullet journal supplies in general that I love, because I know that a lot of people want to start bullet journaling and they think that they have to have everything. You don't have to have everything. You just have to have something that works for you, and I'll share what works best for me. But thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas for what will work for my challenges. That'd be great. And let me know if you want to do a reading challenge together. That could be kind of fun. I don't know what we do. Maybe it'll be books that fit those prompts. And as always, happy planning.